Brother Matthias. He is the nephew of Blessed Peter Tarok. His family came to meet me this morning for the spiritual guidance. So I was happened to meet these couples here, and I am very happy. Mama will speak little about Blessed Peter Tarok, what she knows, and we are inspired that the Blessed Peter Tarok, one of the great saint of this land. So Mama, you can tell us about Blessed Peter Tarok to enlighten us.
I know I know through how they acted it in the Peter Tarok's feast day. So he was a catechete, and he didn't agree in men marrying two wives. So his real brother wanted to marry a second wife, and went and asked him, I want to marry another wife. No. So he refused. No, you are my brother, and you have to follow what I teach. Because you are in my house, and both of us are real brothers. But he refused. No? Said, no, I want two wives. No, the Catholic Church doesn't allow two wives. So they argued on this one. And then he went again, and he told the Japanese, this man is still teaching about gospel. He's still. That's how sorry, forget this statement. That's how I knew it when they were acting it out in Rakunai when I went. My first time to go with him home. So they acted this, how he was killed to death. And then he said, no, you are my real brother, and I don't agree on you having two wives. But the brother went on. He rode on a bicycle, went along to the Japanese, told them that my brother is still worshiping God. He's still giving communion. He's still baptizing children. He's still giving marriage, blessing marriage, wife and husband. And then the Japanese said, okay, it's all right. We know. And then one day now they went, and they told him, but Peter Tarok knew that something was going to happen. So he went, told his wife, Yamama, and told her, I want all my Bible, rosary, everything I used to pray with, I want that. And his wife said, for what? No, I'm going. The Japanese want me to go. So he went inside the cave where he dug himself. He went, and then the Japanese came. They said he was sick, but he wasn't sick. They just gave him injection to kill him. That's how he died. He was not sick. That's how I knew it, because I went and they were really acting it out. The first time when he was not popular in Papua New Guinea and the whole world. Yeah. So his father died, and they didn't know where because the Dosa came and cleaned every grave in there, made it straight. So I went, when his father died, I went and I asked him, I asked the old man, very old man, whose grave is this? It's Peter Tarok. Who is Peter Tarok? A catechete. And how did he die? So we'll go up and we'll see how they are acting it. So I got a piece of stone. I got a stone and I start making mark on the cement. So this is Tikot, that's his father's name, and this is Peter Tarok. They are brothers. Their grave is close to each other. So when they told the people at the parishioners at Rakunai to dig Peter Tarok's body out to go to mosque, I told them, you see the mark I made on the grave. So I told them, I rang his brother, you go and see, I made a mark on the cement. That's how you're going to know that Tikot is here, that's his father's name. And Peter Tarok is this, and Tarok on this side. So I don't know what made me do it, because I was giving susu to my little boy. So I was just making it easier, and they were putting his father on the grave, and I just made a mark. And I told the chairman of Rakunai, my people looking, you won't see the mark where I made. I scratched the cement. So when Tomen Middleton, that's the chairman that time, I told him, you ring those people and tell them that I made a mark on the cement. Peter Tarok on this side, Tikot on this side. That's his father's name. So they went and they dug him out. And every time I used to make fun. Maybe they're digging Picot's ground now, not Peter Torot. And they're bringing they're bringing Picot's ground to us, not Peter Torot. That's how I knew. And then his brother rode a bicycle. He saw him giving baptized to the two couple. And that time they acted it. The real couple that got married on Peter Torot's hand were acting this one. And the person who baptized, Peter Torot baptized, was acting it too. So it was very nice for me to have a chance. I'm a buka, but I knew what happened. So I went in. His brother rode a bicycle and he was baptizing and giving merit to the people underneath the cave. And then he went and said, "Hey, Chapan, he's making misa again." That's what he said. So Japanese came, and Peter Torot knew that he was going to die. He went and told his wife, "Give me my Bible, my kasok, everything I used to use in prayer and giving baptism. Give me all." And his wife said, "Paula." That's his wife's name, Paula. Paula said, "What? Are you going to die?" "No, I'm going to wait for the Japanese. They're going to come and interview me." But he knew that he was going to die. So he went inside. He waited for the Japanese. They came and they gave him injection. He died instantly. I saw what they did and I knew how it went. So that's how he died. The Japanese gave him injection just for preaching the word of God, baptizing people, giving marriage. And the last couple to go and get married on Peter Torot's hand, they came. They acted that scene. And the last person to get baptized from him was a man. He came and he acted on the drum. So I was a lucky person to see all those ones.